Good morning, dear students. Welcome to another English language program intended for the students who are getting ready for the GCE Ordinary Level examination. Dear students, as you are aware, we've been revising the lessons that you have studied so far, and we have discussed the questions from the past O-level question papers. So today we are going to discuss question number 13, and here we have Mr. Ranjit Hemachandra of Highlands College to conduct the lesson. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jumla Miss.
Yes. Sir, can you tell us what sort of a question is this test 13 is?
Good morning, dear students. Question number 13 has been designed so that children can understand what to write, what to select from a given passage, or maybe some kind of dictionary page, and it may be a poem. The children should be able to read it and identify the relevant facts.
So, so then it is a reading one, right? It is a reading question. And so this time, this reading, there are about 3 reading passages here in the O-level paper, and this reading is you have to directly take answers from the either a poem or a dictionary page or a passage. So let us move on to the question in 2000. First we will discuss the technique. What sort of technique and the objective of this particular question?
Now, this particular question that was given in 2016 is this: assess the ability to read and understand a set of instructions. කිසියම් උපදේශ මාලාවක් දීලා තියෙනවා, ඒක ඔබට තේරුම් බේරුම් අරගෙන වෙන් කරගන්න කොහොමද හැකියාව තියෙන්නේ කියලා තමයි බලන්නේ. Now, there are some instructions for 2 things. You will have to separate the relevant instructions. So now let us go through it and see. Read the following rules to be observed by the visitors to a factory and members of a library. Put them in the correct column, factory or library. Write the letter of each rule in the correct column. මේ දුවල පුතාලට පේනවා මෙතන තියෙනවා rules. ඒ කියන්නේ නීති රීති පද්ධතියක්. ඔබ මෙන්න මේ ආයතන දෙකට ගියාම පිළිපදින්න ඕනේ. එකක් තමයි library එක, අනිත් එක factory එක. So now let us read those sentences and attempt to identify the relevant fact, the relevant rule for each of them.
Yes, and you have to remember that you have to write the letter of each rule there.
Yeah. There is a cage under library and factory.
Yes.
Now, for your information, the first one has been done.
Yes. So, the first one, the example is, do not tear or damage books, magazines or newspapers. So, you know, definitely it should be a library rule.
Let us read the second one. All visitors must wear an identification badge. So, you know that when we go to a library, we don't wear a badge like that. So, it should definitely go to the factory. So, you can see you have to write the letter B in the cage under, so in the column factory.
The third one, keep complete silence all the time. Do not disturb.
So, definitely it should be
library.
The library.
You should not make noise. So, it should go under the library column.
D. Small children are not allowed on the manufacturing floor. So, when the word manufacturing is there, definitely it should be a factory, not a library. So, you have to put D in the column of factory.
The next rule is, reference materials are not allowed to be removed. Now, you know, in the library there is a section called reference, that you can't take books, but you can sit there and read. So, then those materials cannot be removed. So, it should belong to the library.
But there is a problem, because I have noticed sometime when this question was given to children, when the word materials there, they thought that it should go to
A factory.
Therefore, you have to understand what it is. මෙන්න මේකත් දුවේ පුතේ අවබෝධය reference materials. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට පරිහරණය කරන්න library එකට ගියාම මේ reference section එකේ materials ගැනයි කියන්නේ. නැතුව no, we don't talk about raw materials and those things. So you have to write the letter E under library. Next one, produce your membership card whenever it is asked for. So automatically when you become a member of a library, you get a membership card. So you have to indicate it in the section of library F.
Right. Next one, follow all safety warning signs. Watch for hot or sharp surfaces. Definitely it is about a factory because you have to, there's a lot of accidents may happen, so you have to take safety precautions. So it should go under factory, G.
Next one, do not leave any of your belongings on the study tables. So when you talk about study tables, you find the study table in a library. So you have to indicate letter H in the column library.
Next one, audio visual materials can be kept only for 2 days. You know that you can borrow audio or audio visual materials from a library.
So it should be I in the library section. Wear the safety glasses provided near production line. So when we talk about production and safety, definitely it should go to the section of factory. So let us indicate J in the column of factory.
The next one, in the case of an emergency, ask your guide for help. So emergency situations, definitely it should be
in
a factory rather than a library.
So case should be indicated in a factory. So if you get something like that, you must read it very carefully and attempt to indicate the letter in the right column. So this is quite easy for you, but still we have noticed some students make mistakes here as well.
Yes, and children, this had come only in 2016, and after that we got reading passages, so you have to make a note on that as well.
Yes, from 2017 we have
reading passages and dictionary
for
pages.
question number 30.
Yes.
Now let us move
on to question number 13 of 2017 O-level paper.
Read the poem and answer the questions given. So dear students, under these questions you will be getting a poem and some questions, or maybe a dictionary page, or sometimes it may be a dialogue,
a paragraph,
so different forms,
a story,
stored like that.
Yes.
So now let us move on to the poem Underground. So let us read the poem first, and after that we'll move on to the questions. In the deep kingdom underground, there is no light and little sound. Down below the earth's green floor, the rabbit and the mole explore. The quarrying ants run to and fro to make their populous empires grow. Do they, as I pass overhead, stop in their work to hear my tread? So before we move on to this one, in the deep kingdom underground, there is no light and little sound. So what do you mean by little sound here? So dear students, now what's the difference between little and a little? Now a little means you have certain things. Little means almost no.
Less.
Yeah, less. Little means almost no. That is negative. Little sound means actually no sound. So remember that, because there is a question about this, so you will be able to select it. Down below the earth's green floor, the rabbit and the mole explore. So they have lot of work underneath. The quarrying ants and run to and fro. To and fro is a phrase which means here and there. To make their populous empires, the poet has compared their area, their territory to an empire. අපි දන්නවා එක අධිරාජ්‍යයක් වගේ empires grow. Do they, as I pass overhead, stop in their work to hear my tread? So question is asked. We can call it a rhetorical question, whether they stop their work. Normally they don't stop their work. Right.
Some creatures sleep and do not toil, secure and warm beneath the soil. Sometimes a fork or spade intrudes upon their earthly solitudes. Downward the branching tree roots spread into the country of the dead. Deep down the buried rocks and stones are like the earth's gigantic bones in the dark kingdom underground. How many marvelous things are found. This is by James Reeves.
Is when you go through this poem, this part, some creatures sleep and do not toil. Some creatures don't work like others. So just like in our human society, we have hard workers, we have lazy people. So like that, secure and warm beneath the soil. So under the soil they may sleep. Sometimes a fork or spade intrudes. Sometimes a human being may intrude a fork or a spade.
They dig the soil
dig
using those tools.
Yes, upon their earthly solitude. Now they are in some kind of solitude. That means being alone without in a solitary
noise.
manner. Downward the branching tree roots spread. Sometimes the roots of a tree may go down into the country of the dead. So there may be the dead creatures.
Buried under the ground.
Deep down the buried rocks and stones are like the earth's gnathic bones. So they are like the bones. In the dark kingdom underground, how many marvelous things are found. So it is, there are so many marvelous things, quite amazing. So this was composed by James Reeves. Now let's move on to the questions.
The first one, is the kingdom underground a quiet world or a noisy world?
So this is a double question where you get two ideas, quiet world or a noisy world. So what do you think it is? Because although there are a lot of creatures, but inside we just read that word, that is, you have little sound. So little sound means almost no sound. So it should be
quiet world.
Quiet word. So easily you can identify and write the correct word or correct phrase for the answer. Is the kingdom underground a quiet world or a noisy world? So you have to give one of them, quiet world.
Yes. The next question is, which words tell you this?
Which words
so you have to
tell
support.
you this? Supporting word. So you can see
little
sound. Little sound.
As Sir said, almost no sound.
Almost no sound.
Right. Let us move on to the next question. Find two other words or phrases in the poem which mean under.
So we found these words when we read the poem: below, deep down, and there was another
beneath
one
as well.
Beneath. So below means under, deep down means under, beneath means under. Beneath the crust, beneath something. So beneath means under. So you can learn it.
The next question is, the poet says they stop their work to hear his walk. Who are referred to as they in line 7?
Right. They stop their work to hear his walk. Who are referred to as they? So ants.
Hardworking
ants. Insects.
What two tools disturb the silence of the earth occasionally?
Yeah, tools used by human beings. So we read them.
Fork and spade.
Fork and spade. Fork, spade. Let's move on to the next question.
How do some creatures who do not work find their sleep under the ground?
We read two words here. Now you can notice they are secure and warm.
The last question is, who seem to be the busiest creatures?
The busiest creatures, who are they? So definitely
ants.
They must be ants.
The ants.
So now you can understand that. So this question is not at all difficult, but when you read the poem, when you look at the poem, you may sometimes think that it will be difficult. But dear children, please read it and try to understand it and look at the questions, you will be able to answer them
when
very
you
easily.
when you read the area where the question is, definitely the answer is there.
Answer is
ඒක
there.
තමයි ලේසිම ක්‍රමේ. පොඩ්ඩක් ඒ question එක කියවලා ආයෙම හොයන්න මේ වචන තියෙන තැන කොහෙද කියලා. එතකොට answer එක හොයාගන්න ලේසියි.
බොහොම ලේසියෙන්ම මේ දරුවන්ට
Because this is a direct question. Direct answers are there from these type of
from
questions.
these types of questions.
So let us move on to 2018 question. This is a dictionary page. So a page is given from a dictionary, and so there are a lot of meanings in dictionary. Other than meanings, what are the other things we can find in a dictionary?
So normally, dear students, if you study English, it is a must for you to use a dictionary. That is the mark of a student who studies English or English literature, whatever it is, you must have a good dictionary and you must know how to use it. A dictionary, through dictionary we can learn a lot, we can get the meaning of it and you can learn how to pronounce it, because the way you should pronounce
sounds are there, so you
is
can
given
pronounce.
through phonetics.
Yes.
And the type of word, whether it is a noun, adjective,
The word
verb
class.
or adverb, and the word class, and the origin of the word.
And examples sometimes.
Examples, sentences, and other words, other forms of that word.
Yes.
So many things are given. So dear students, please use a dictionary, a good dictionary, so that you can improve your English. So when you read this, now here we have taken the section where you get the S letter at the beginning. So there are some words: spick, spice, again spicy, spider.
Spider monkey,
Yes, there are
spider's web,
spigot, spike,
spiff,
all those things are there.
spiffy, spigot, spike, spiked, spike heel.
Right. Now let us move on to the question, the other part. You can see, find a word or phrase for each of the following descriptions. A description is given, you will have to find a word, because here when you read it, you can find a similar description in the dictionary. So you are encouraged to read the page of a dictionary. Now let us read what these descriptions are.
So the first one, a phrase similar in meaning to neat and clean.
This is a nice, we can say, very important phrase. A phrase similar in meaning to neat and clean. බොහොම neat එකට බොහොම පිරිසිදුව පැහැදිලිව තියෙන තැනකට අපි කියනවා මෙන්න මෙහෙම ප්‍රකාශයක් කරනවා.
Spick and span.
Yes, spick and span.
Yes.
The place is spick and span. බොහොම ලස්සනට පිරිසිදුව බබලන විදිහට.
You can have the spelling SPIC
SPICK
as well there.
and span.
Yes.
Spick and span.
The next one, a metal point set into the sole of a running shoe.
Our students know about this, because especially the students,
runners, they have the sprinters,
who do
they
sports activities.
The shoes have spikes.
Yes, spikes. Then
A creature that feeds on insects.
a creature that feeds on insects. What do you think it is? So let us see.
A spider with the cobweb,
Yeah,
all the
spider,
insects are trapped.
You know how spider traps other creatures through its web.
An outdoor tap,
An outdoor tap. What's that?
spigot.
Yeah, spigot. SPIGOT.
All these words are there, children, in the dictionary pages, so it's easy for you to identify the words.
The description is given there.
Yes, it's
you have to
there.
read it and identify that. Very easy. Next one.
Complete the sentence selecting a word from the dictionary page.
Complete the sentence. Now here is a sentence. Sri Lankan food is very blank because the cooks add many things to flavor them. So sometimes the foreign people, when they taste our food, they say that they may say it's too hot. So what the reason? Sri Lankan food is very spicy. A lot of spices, because the cooks add many things to flavor them.
Yes. Right, children. So now we have discussed some set of rules, and then the second one we used a poem, and the third one a poem. So we have taken some more poems for you, so then it will be easy for you to get answers by reading a poem. So let us move on to this question.
Yes. Read the poem and answer the questions given. First of all, let us read the question. It's quite interesting poem. My mom says, dear student, please remember the ideas. There are some instructions. If you don't pick up your pyjamas and fold them under your pillow, I'll throw them out of the window for the bin men to pick up. So, what can you say about this? Some kind of warning by a mother.
Mothers are warning.
Yes, mother tells the
first time, second time,
yes,
and then the third time it will be a warning.
If you don't pick up your pyjamas that you wear for night and fold them under your pillow, I'll throw them out of the window for the bin men to pick up. That means the child has to do some work. What has he got to do? Pick up his pyjamas.
They are on the floor, it seems.
Yes, and fold them under the pillow. That is the action. The next one. If you don't go upstairs and get washed immediately, I'll take you into the garden and turn the hose pipe on you. So, what is she going to do? If you don't go upstairs and get washed, you have to go to the washroom or bathroom.
Sometimes children get very lazy in the morning.
They are reluctant to do that.
Wash.
So, they have to go up. So, he has to go upstairs and get washed. If not, what will happen? So, this is we can say conditional tense.
Yes.
First conditional, I will take you into the garden and turn the hose pipe on you.
So it won't be good at all, not like a shower.
So, that is warning of the mother.
Yes.
Next one. If you don't hurry up and get dressed at once, you have to get dressed immediately. I'll take you to school in your knickers. So, she will have to go to school in
warning.
That way. That's a warning.
If you don't get dressed
at
soon,
once, immediately,
you have to go to school in your underwear.
Yes. If you are not out of this door in 10 seconds time, I'll kiss you goodbye outside school. My mom says, you think I'm joking, don't you? So, my mom says, it's not a joke. You will have to do those things. Right. Now, this is the activity you will have to do. What should the child do? What will the mom do? So, we have not included there. You will have to think of them. So, what should the child do? The child has
in
to.
In the first one, pick up the pyjamas. If not, and fold them under the pillow.
Yes. Then what will the mother do?
Mother will throw them out of the window.
Out of the window. Then the next one.
Go upstairs
and get washed
immediately.
Then what will the mom do?
Will take the child into the garden and turn the hose pipe.
Then the third one.
To hurry up and get dressed.
And what will the mom do? Otherwise,
will take the child
to school
in the knickers.
Then the last one.
Go out of the door in 10 seconds. Or else mother would say goodbye.
Goodbye. Mother will go. So, you will have to write those things in the columns. Right. Let us move on to the.
Yes, there's another poem, children.
This is also a very good poem for you to learn. Read the poem and answer the questions given. If I had 3 Christmas wishes, my first wish would be for an end to hunger and poverty. Very good wish. If I had 3 Christmas wishes, my first wish would be for an end to hunger and poverty. That is for all the people. Hunger and poverty. End.
බඩගින්න සහ දුප්පත්කමට නැති කරන්න තමයි පළවෙනිම බලාපොරොත්තුව.
But the second one.
If I had 3 Christmas wishes, my second would be for an end of violence, hatred and war.
Look at that. If I had 3 Christmas wishes, my second would be for an end to violence. Violence can do bhishane, violence, hatred, and war, yuddha. So you can see end to violence, hatred and woe. So, that is the second wish. And the third one, if I had 3 Christmas wishes, my third wish would be that we take proper care of the land and the sea. We must protect the land, we must protect the sea, so that it may be a good place for all human beings to live. So, you can see the import of these 3 wishes.
Very good wishes, actually. Yes. Stop hunger and poverty, and then end violence, hatred and war. It's prevailing in every country these days.
Yes.
And then take care of the land and the sea.
So
very appropriate for the present day situation.
Present day situation. So normally people pollute the land, they pollute the sea, pollute waterways. Therefore, people have found it difficult to live in this world, we can say, comfortably. Sometimes if you have listened to the speech of that Canadian girl, she questions the adults about certain things. She asked
who had gone to the UN conference and addressed
who made the hole in the what is called ozone layer. It was done by the human beings, done by adults, and who destroyed forests. So the adults, so a young child, we can say a child questions the adults for those things. So we must not destroy our world. We must end the hunger and poverty, stop violence, hatred and war, and make our earth a good place.
Yes.
Now let us move on to the questions.
Right. The first question is, how many wishes could the speaker have?
So quite easy.
Yes.
3.
3
wishes.
wishes.
What would be the first wish?
To end hunger and poverty.
Second one. What would be the second wish?
To end violence, hatred and war.
Violence, hatred and war. Fourth one, fourth question, what would be the third wish?
To take proper care of the land and the sea.
So, I think you can answer such a question very easily. Now, let us move on to the next one, fifth one. This is for you. What 3 wishes would you have if you got such an opportunity? So, you have to write some 3 wishes. This is up to you.
What would you do if you are given only 3 chances?
Yes, we have not given an answer.
It is something for you to think over. The good things that you would consider as your 3 best wishes. Right. So let us move on to another question, children. Here you have to find the most appropriate word.
Yes.
So first let us read the instructions here.
Read the following story and complete the statements given below it with the most appropriate word or words.
Yes, sometimes you may get a story like this, so that's why we chose.
Sometimes it may be that means puzzling, sometimes problematic to decide. Let us see. A man and his son are driving in a car. Remember, the car crashes into a tree, killing the father and seriously injuring his son. At the hospital, the boy needs to have surgery. Upon looking at the boy, the doctor says, telling the truth, I cannot operate on him. He is my son. Now you can see the problem here. A man and his son are driving in a car. The car crashes into a tree, killing the father and seriously injuring his son. At the hospital, the boy needs to have surgery. Upon looking at the boy, the doctor says, telling the truth, I cannot operate on him because he is my son.
So that means, is it a ghost or what?
So let us see. Right, that is, the son was in the car with the father. There are 3 words, mother, father, the doctor. So definitely it should be father. The number of casualties was, casualties means the injured people and
there are
dead people. So it should be 2, father and son. Blank killed the father, the car killed the father, the tree killed the father, the accident killed the father.
The accident.
So we can say the accident killed the father. The doctor was the boy's father, his mother, the man in the car. The doctor was
The mother.
his mother.
She's also a doctor.
That is why he says, I can't operate on him.
He's my son.
So you will have to understand to the situation, because by looking at the boy, the mother said that. The doctor has lost her son, her husband, her car.
Doctor lost her husband.
So you can see some kind of problematic situation. You will have to understand and answer the questions properly.
Yes. Now children, let us move on to another question. Here you have to identify different types of nouns. Sir, can you just explain what sort of nouns that we can find?
Dear students, when we talk about nouns, there are different kinds of nouns. You have proper noun, we have common noun, we have abstract nouns, we have collective nouns. Now what do you mean by, what is the difference between proper noun and common noun? So that you can understand through this sentence. Now for example, country is a common noun, Sri Lanka is a proper noun. You can understand bank is a common noun, People's Bank or commercial bank may be the proper noun.
So names are
Proper
nouns, and
commonly we use common noun.
common.
City is a common noun, Colombo is a proper noun. I think you understand the difference. Then collective noun means as a group, as a set. For example, a flock of sheep, a gang of thieves.
Team of players.
Yes, a team of players. So we call it a collective noun. Then abstract noun means idea. Now we have concrete. Now for example, a table, chair, you can see it.
You can touch and
you
feel.
can touch and feel. But if you take the wisdom, poverty, we can't touch them. So we call them abstract nouns.
Mostly feelings,
Feelings.
love, warmth, kindness. They are
Happiness,
called
they are abstract nouns.
So there are 4 types, children: common nouns, proper nouns, collective nouns, and abstract nouns.
So let us try to find them out through this sentence. Always speak the truth. Here the noun is truth. So what type of noun is it? It is an abstract noun.
It's a quality.
Yes. Honesty is the best policy. Here we have taken the word honesty. So to which category does it belong?
Again, abstract nouns.
Abstract noun. You can't show it, only an idea. King Solomon was famous for his wisdom. Here
Two nouns are there.
two nouns, King Solomon and wisdom. King Solomon.
It's a name.
It's name, so it's a proper noun. If you take only the word king, it is a common noun. But King Solomon, proper noun. Wisdom, again, abstract noun. A committee of 5 was appointed. A committee, a group, then collective noun. A committee of 5 was appointed. Next one, we saw a fleet of ships in the harbor. A fleet, group. It's a collective noun.
Now
samuhayak. Fleet ekak.
It's a collective noun.
Next one, he gave me a bunch of grapes. Midipokurak, bunch. Again, it's a collective noun. London is on the river Thames. The people who have gone to London, they know that it is on river Thames. So London, it's a proper noun. London is a proper noun. Cleanliness is next to godliness. It is a proverb. Eka proverb ekak prastawa pirula. Cleanliness is next to godliness. ඒ කියන්නේ දිව්‍යමය ස්වභාවයට කිට්ටු වෙනවා පිරිසිදුකම. So cleanliness again is an abstract noun. Wisdom is better than riches. Again we talk wisdom, abstract noun. Winston Churchill was one of the greatest prime ministers of England. Winston Churchill is a proper noun. So I think you understand it in a better way.
All right, children. So let us move on to another question. Here we have to fill some blanks. Right. Let us read the description.
That means read the following description of Nisansara and fill in the blanks with suitable words. දැන් ඒක අවබෝධ කරගෙන ඔබට ගැළපෙන වචන ටිකක් යොදන්න බලන්න. And every morning Nisansala gets up blank and makes blank for the family. She leaves home at blank and takes a three-wheeler to her school. She starts work at 7:30. At a 10:15 she has. So let us try to fill in these blanks.
Now what tense, children? Now every morning, that means every day what you do. So then we use simple present
simple
tense.
present tense.
So every morning Nisansala gets up.
So let us see a
that
suitable
is gets
word.
up when? Early.
Early.
So that is
You can use a
an
word like
adverb.
early and makes what?
Breakfast
Yeah, we can say makes breakfast
for the family.
for the family. Now it is a complete sentence. Every morning Nisansala gets up early and makes breakfast for the family. මේ දුවල පුතාලත් ඒවා කල්පනා කරලා ඒක ගැළපෙන වචනයක් හිතලා ලියන්න. මොකද ඔබේ මේක අවබෝධ කරගන්නයි අපිට තව වචනයක් ලියන්නයි මේ අභ්‍යාසයෙන් අපි උත්සාහ ගන්න. She leaves home at.
Then you have to make mention a time there.
Time
at
there.
is there.
At is
the preposition
there.
at.
You
So at
can
7
mention
o'clock
a
or
time. 7
6:30 or
o'clock
whatever time that you leave.
Yes, or you can say 7:30 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. like that, 7
Yes.
o'clock, and takes a three-wheeler to her school. She starts work at 7:30. At a 10:15 she has a break. She always has blank in the canteen at this time. So what shall we do? She always has a cup of tea in the canteen
And a sandwich.
and a sandwich. So you can use something.
You can
a cup
use
of
only
tea
one
and a
or two.
sandwich.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. If you write she always has a cup of tea, that would also
That is also enough.
enough. At this time, at 1:30 she finishes her work. She arrives home at 2:30 and takes lunch
With
the
her
family. With the family. So it's also an easy exercise. So you will be getting different types of exercises for this particular question, question number 13.
Yes. Now we have another activity coming on here. There also you have to select the correct word. You have to look at the passage and fill with the most appropriate word.
This is quite similar to the exercise we did before. Read this passage and write the underlined words in the correct cage. Now let us read this. A tortoise is a shelled reptile. ඒ කියන්නේ උඩ කටුවක් තියෙන reptile උරගයෙක්, famed for its slowness and longevity. Longevity means they live, they have long life. බොහොම ගොඩක් ආයුෂ තියෙනවා. ඒකයි longevity කියන්නේ. The giant tortoise of Galapagos may attain over 1.5 meters in length
and have
a lifespan of more than 150 years. 150 years. That is why we say they have longevity. Small tortoises from southern Europe and North Africa make popular pets. Now, some people keep even tortoises as pets. They need to be tended carefully in cool climates and must have warm place in which they can hibernate. Sometimes even especially in winter, they have to be at place, we call it hibernate. So look at these words: shelled, length, from, make, they, carefully. You have to identify to which category these words belong.
Either it's a noun, verb, adjective or adverb.
Adverb like that. Shelled. Now we are.
Now the first time reptile, it's a noun and it describes the reptile by telling shelled.
Oh,
so
now
it should be
looks like a verb.
But ed, but it describes the noun, so it is an adjective.
Adjective. Now you must remember that sometimes with past participle we can make adjectives.
Now let us move on to the next one. It's in length.
Length.
It's a
what type of noun? It's a noun. It's a noun. It is we can say abstract noun. Length.
And the next one, from.
What's that?
It's a
preposition. It's a preposition.
Make is a verb. They
a pronoun. And carefully, adverb.
Tendered, how? Carefully.
Adverb.
So it is an adverb.
So now let us put them correctly. pronoun, noun, adjective, verb, adverb, prepositions. So,
Yes.
1, 2, 3,
So,
4, 5,
so I
6.
think we will let the students do it as homework because we are running out of time, children. So we hope to meet you once again with another test item, that is test 14, next week as well. Until then, have a pleasant week, children. Goodbye.